Hey guys, RCT back here for that video, guys. Today we're going to be building the perfect foldable cell phone. So we have some options on the right hand side here. We have the Duo 2, the Z Fold 3, the Duo 1, then we have the Flip 3, and we have the brand new Oppo's Find and 5G as our kind of build partners for this video. So guys, starting off right away, let's go ahead and get right into it. We have different types of categories. Now, don't worry about the stats on the side of the categories. All that matters is the categories. The body, the display, the platform, the memory, main camera, selfie camera, sound, communications, features, battery, and miscellaneous. Miscellaneous include price, okay? So first off, let's go ahead and start off with body. Which of these bodies are the perfect phone body? And to be honest, I gotta start off right away with a phone that you might not 100% think is the perfect body, but I think it's the perfect body. It's the phone right here. It's the Surface Duo 1. The Duo 1, in my opinion, has the best body of any of these cell phones. And I'm talking about literally just the body, not the outer displays, inner displays, what they have, that kind of stuff all falls under display. I'm talking about the strict body of this phone. So for example, I know Oppo's has the outside display and the Z Fold 3 does too, but we're not talking about having the outside display. We're talking about literally the physical body of this phone. The hinge down the middle, bam, just like that. 360 degrees. I love that fact with this phone. So the Surface Duo 1 easily gets the best body phone, because yes, the Surface Duo 2 is nice, but it doesn't have that 360 degrees, no camera bump, absolute gorgeous phone. So that's number one. Number two, display. Me personally, if I had to give display, it would have to be the Oppo's Find and 5G. Now, it doesn't give you two dual 120 hertz displays, which I think is definitely an issue a little bit. First off, it gives you a 60 hertz and 120 hertz inside. That's not the worst thing in the world. Let me explain why. Because first off, this gives you I'm going to stop saying first off every single 10 seconds. It gives you a really nice size, kind of candy bar type cell phone outside display. And yeah, it's 60 hertz, but let's be honest, 90% of people watching this video probably has a 60 hertz display on their phone. They have an iPhone or an Android. They probably have a 60 hertz out display. So that's pretty much normal, right? Then once you get to the inner display, that's when it really kicks off, right? So now you don't have to worry about any crease down the middle. It's a creaseless display. It's a gorgeous inside display. And overall wise, I think if you take that and you take the hinge mechanism of the Surface Duo 1 and you give it that inside display where instead of it being down the middle, there's this gigantic, like gap. If this is all one display with no crease, that would be absolutely gorgeous. Just amazing how that would look. So even though it has 80 hertz outside display, I'm not really too much of I couldn't do that, and I think that it would absolutely destroy the phone. I think it would actually be okay. I really do. All right, so for the platform, I have to give it to this phone right here, the Z Fold 3. Z Fold 3, right now, my Z Fold 3, because I went into the partner program of, Samsung had an Android 12 beta, and I went into that. And now we got the final release version of the Android 12 beta. Because of that, I have to give it to the Z Fold 3. I absolutely love Android 12. Android 12 is, in my opinion, one of the best actual platforms or software platforms for any foldable phone. And once we get Android 12L, even continue on to that. But right now, Android 12 is absolutely amazing. I have to give it to Z Fold 3 for that reason. For mounted gigabytes. So here is the kind of interesting thing. We have 6 gigabytes on the Surface Duo 1, 8 on the Surface Duo 2, 12 on the Z Fold 3. I think it's 8. No, I think it's I believe it's 8 on the Z Flip 3. And then on the Oppos, they have two different iterations. They have a 12 and a 6. So, to be honest, because of that reason, and because of the reason that the Z Fold 3 and Oppos has very similar type, like they have very similar internals when it comes to the CPU, GPU, all that kind of stuff, I'm going to give it to Z Fold 3. We give Z Fold 3 again. I think it still has a lot of firepower in that little device. So I'm going to go ahead and give that with 12 gigabytes of RAM. That goes to the Z Fold 3. Main camera. So this is the outer camera of the actual phone. Now, here are the differences between the Surface Duo 2 has a 12, a 16, and a 12. The Z Fold 3 has a triple 12 camera setup. The Z Flip 3 has two 12 megapixel cameras, while the Surface Duo 2 has one sole 10 megapixel camera, 11 megapixel camera, and the Oppos phone actually has a 50, a 12, and a 12. Now, based on what we saw recently with the rumors and also the reviews of the Oppos phone, people have said that the camera is not that good. And I've said this many times. It doesn't matter what the numbers are when it comes to 12, 16, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 50, 12. All that matters is how good the sensor is inside. And if the sensor is crap, it doesn't matter how much megapixels you have. All megapixels mean is how many pixels are being captured into an image when you are taking it. And in reality, it only matters when you're blowing up the image. So with that being said, the best camera I have used, personally speaking wise, when it comes to just camera, not software, just camera, I will say it has to be the Z Fold 3. Z Fold 3, in my, uses of it, has been the best camera. Doesn't have the best numbers, like 50 megapixel, but actual looking wise, it looks the best. Now, selfie camera is a little bit different of a story. That's where I'm going to actually give it to the Oppos Find and 5G. Based on what I've seen from the selfie camera, which is a 32 megapixel front-facing shooter, that, based on what I've seen, has looked absolutely gorgeous of the Find and 5G. That thing looks absolutely amazing. So now for speakers of these phones, surprisingly enough, this is where the Duo 2 finally shows up. And it's because I'm using not all of these phones. I have used all the phones except for the Oppos Find 5G. The speaker system has been the best for me on the Surface Duo 2. Surprisingly enough. That's the only real thing I gotta give this phone in any kind of way. Next thing I want to talk about is going to be the communications. This includes NFC. So Surface Duo 1 has been eliminated. USB Type-C. All these phones run USB Type-C. That's not anything new. Also GPS. Now this is where I'm going to go ahead and put in here and say, this is what I'm going to put in water resistance too, because there's no real category for water resistance. Now the only phones on this list of water resistance, IPX8, would be the Z Fold 3 and the Flip 3. The Flip 3 and the Z Fold 3 are water resistant phones. So because of that being said, I'm going to actually put on this list here the Z Fold 3 for communications. Now this does not include wireless charging. That will be at the bottom of this list here as we get to the battery. But for NFC, for Bluetooth, for, all that kind of stuff, and I'm including water resistance, this actually is, in my opinion, one of the best. Alright, so for fingerprint, dual, whatever, all these phones are pretty much the same. They all have a fingerprint reader on the side. They have none under display fingerprint readers. Some of these have facial recognitions. The facial recognition phones are going to be the Z Fold 3 and the Flip 3. Surface Duo 2, Surface Duo 1 and 2, does it? I don't think so, does it? No, Surface Duo 1 and 2 does not have facial recognition. Oppos, I'm not sure, and I did not see if they did or not. But with that being said, I will say overall wise, surprisingly enough, my best phone I've ever used for fingerprint reading, all that kind of stuff, was the Surface Duo 1. But I'm going to give it to the Z Fold 3 because it does have facial recognition too, and I do like Face ID. For battery, we're going right back to bam, 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 the Fold 3 for battery. It has one of the biggest batteries on this list of all these cell phones. I believe Oppos might have a bigger overall battery, but the battery life on that phone apparently is crap. Z Flip 3 is absolutely the worst on this list. Surface Duo 1 and 2 are kind of mediocre, so obviously that would go to the Z Fold 3. Now, the final one is price. You got to give it to the Oppo's Find 5G. Coming in at $1,200 for price, you kind of can't beat that price tag. You really, really can't beat that price tag at $1,200. I mean, for what you're getting for this phone at $1,200, you're really getting everything in a cup of tea. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to the Oppo's Find 5G for the price tag. Guys, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like, comment down below. I'll see you guys next one. Peace out.